Hey everybody, welcome back to Dave & Will's Guitar. Today we're going to be doing a demo of this nice Squire 12-string. This is the Paranormal series 12-string guitar. It's a fun guitar. I kind of like it a lot, but I kind of also don't like it. So this is, again, not a sponsored video. If you look at our channel, we don't have anybody who watches this stuff. No one wants to pay us to do anything. So we gotta pay for it ourselves. But anyway, this is a guitar that kind of caught my eye. Looked exciting, wanted to try it. I'd never owned a 12-string. Looked like fun, and it was like an affordable. I like the Jazzmaster body shape. I find it comfortable to play. So thought, what the heck, let's buy a 12-string and see what it can do. But before we get into the sound demos that Dave will be performing later, we'll just go over some of the specs of this guitar. So we have a 25.5-inch scale neck, your typical nickel silver frets, 12-string. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to say. I probably muffled the mic by like pulling my chin down. Yeah, it's just the standard stuff you find on most like Squires or cheaper, more affordable guitars. This guitar, I think when I bought it, I paid like $400 new. I think they're about $460 now with the cost inflation stuff. I think I got this about a year ago, so I was fairly happy with it. But there are some things, like I said, that do need to be improved. One thing I noticed about this guitar is the tuners do not feel great. There is some movement when a quality tuner will have the same resistance regardless of whether you turn it left to right, and generally you want that to be fairly consistent, because when you're tightening or loosening a string and you're trying to really dial in that pitch and accuracy, you want it to be in tune as best you can without the most work you have to do to get it there, right? Well, there's 12 of these, and if you've ever tuned a 12-string, it takes forever. To stretch the strings and everything. It's just not a quick process, to say the least. So getting there can be a little tough, but they're okay. They're not horrible. They're just not great. The other thing is I had not gone through this guitar with like excruciating detail. I didn't check the fret level, but however, I'm also not hearing any buzzing when I'm playing, so it doesn't really bother me. The nut seems to be cut okay. I mean, there's nothing that stands out as problematic on this guitar. So out of the box, I did adjust the saddles slightly up or down to kind of get a slightly better action. The action is slightly high. I mean, I would say it's like a little above, probably 5/64. It's like slightly above 2 millimeters. So with a little bit of work, it could probably be in better playing condition, but it didn't bother me enough. This is not something you're ripping solos on, right? It's definitely a strumming guitar. You might do a little bit of picking, but you're not really hammering out lead work on this thing. So I wasn't really concerned about the action all that much, considering what I wanted it for. One change, however, I did make is I did not care for the pickups. If you see the pickups here, these are humbuckers, and normally these would be a like Jazzmaster style pickup that would go here. There's an aftermarket company that you can look up if you just Google like pickup rings, Jazzmaster pickup rings that fit humbuckers. You can find these. There's a guy who manufactures these out of Australia. It's like $20 for a pair. You get like two. And yeah, $20 shipped to the United States. This was like a year ago, so maybe it costs more. But it's not all that expensive. It's probably 3D printed. I don't know. They work great. It was not a problem. However, getting the pickup in here was a little bit more difficult, because the Jazzmaster style pickup, if you did want to do something like that, the legs of a humbucker are longer, and the Jazzmaster pickup is a thinner, more of a wafer shape. The legs have to have like a spot to go down into the body. So I had to take a drill, and where the legs would touch in the cavity, I had to drill like just a recess about, I don't know, maybe 1/4 of an inch just to make room. After that, they were fine. And you can kind of see when you're trying to fit it into place, like where it's touching, and you just drill a little hole. Even if you're off and have to move it, it's fine. It's all hidden underneath the body. So yeah, that's something you'd have to do. However, the tone of it had drastically changed, right? So these are 250K pots, and I'm putting a humbucker in there. So there's gonna be a difference in like how dark or bright the tone is. Jazzmaster pickups tend to be pretty bright. These are humbuckers, and these are out of an Epiphone SG, so they're darker, and it definitely feels darker than what was originally in here. And I kind of wanted that, and I don't hate the tone, but as far as the 12-string goes, it doesn't inspire me. And it's not to say it's a bad guitar. It's just it's not something that I find myself gravitating towards. So is the guitar bad? No. $450, and I would not buy it at that price. If you could find one used on Reverb, which you can, I think for like maybe $100 cheaper than that, you've got yourself a pretty good guitar. If you like the Jazzmaster pickup sound, you'll probably like it better. It kind of actually fits with the 12-string sound with that Jazzmaster pickup. The humbuckers change it, and you will hear that later in the demo. You'll hear what it sounds like. I unfortunately do not have demos with the original pickups in it, but at least you can hear what it would sound like modded, right? So maybe you can have a different tone, and you know a little bit more of what that work might entail. You know, after getting the pickups wired, it really wasn't that horrible. There's plenty of room in here to wire things up. I didn't have to do much more than those 2 little drilling spots inside the cavity to get the pickups in. So if that is something you wanted to do, you could probably do it pretty easily. Other than that, the fit and finish is fine. I mean, there's no scuffs, there's nothing weird. This is a gloss neck. I prefer a satin, but this feels fine. It feels like it was made to be a affordable instrument. It feels affordable. It does not feel premium. But nonetheless, I didn't want to go spend a bunch of money on a 12-string, so I'm pretty happy with this purchase and got to have that experience, and now I don't have to have it anymore because I'm going to sell it. So to those out there thinking that I would endorse this guitar, I'm like, if you really wanted a 12-string, yeah, you should try it, you should get it, but I would not buy one for myself again. But frankly, I don't think I'd buy a 12-string period of any kind because I'm just not interested in it. So I learned my lesson, to say the least. But yeah, it's not a quote bad guitar. I've played Squires that were way worse. The cheaper series, like the Bullet series, were really, really awful. This one is tolerable, and the things that are problematic can kind of be worked on or fixed with a little bit of elbow grease, or if you know what you're doing. Yeah, I think that's about it. I don't really have any other things to say about this guitar, so we'll just get right into the demos. Dave's going to take it away, and yeah, let us know what you think. Thanks.